Hey Dina,
What's up?
the Just Dance team wants to know if you would like to be a coach for Just Dance 2025.
Who are you?
It's the first time somebody asked me that on my channel. Hi, I'm Dina, and I'm the coach for training season in Just Dance 2025 edition. This is the newest game that got released on October 15. It has a major hit just like Poker Face by Lady Gaga, Yes and Ariana Grande, Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, and Training Season by Dua Lipa. You should go get your copy right now. But if you got a bit of time, I'm gonna tell you how I became an official coach for Just Dance. This is my journey. I never really allowed myself to dream of becoming a real Just Dance coach because I genuinely thought it was impossible. So who dreams about the impossible?
Several hours have passed and I'm still in utter shock. It still feels super surreal. It came out of nowhere. What touched me as well and what he said is like the entire team is on board. The entire team thinks you would be so fit for this song. You would be so fit for this character with your energy. It legitimated me like in a sentence. This team already gave me so much. They gave me the game that changed my life. And they already gave me so much experience and collaborations. Like I was invited at E3. I did Toxic with them, which was like an out of this world experience. I'm like, I've been blessed. I really thought it's enough. Like they really don't owe me anything. They gave me so much. And for them to want to give me more and say, no, but we really think that you deserve it and it's just normal that you get to be a coach.
The call came out of nowhere. We were in July. I just carried the Olympic flame. I thought the big pressure thing of my year was done. And I was just looking forward taking some time off because it was a very intense year in terms of work. And out of a sudden, I was at a restaurant with my bestie and I received a text from Felix, the community developer of the team, saying, "Oh, I would just like to speak to you about a small thing." And I was like, is he saying it is a small thing because it is a small thing? Or is he saying it's a small thing because it's a big thing? But again, I was in the process of not allowing myself to think I could become a coach because if it was not that, I didn't want to be disappointed. So when he told me it was gonna happen, I was at a loss for word. I didn't know what to feel. I felt obviously super joyful and at the same time increasing slowly but surely there was this ball of pressure which is I want to do well, not just for them but also for me because I will never be able to look at myself in the mirror again if I don't do this correctly. At that moment in time, Avery, Little Siha, already had become a coach for the previous Just Dance edition. So I know there was a small chance because she really opened the door, in my opinion, to other community members to become coach for Just Dance. But I really didn't want to think it could happen to me. After I had the news, I needed some time to process it and maybe to convince myself that I was capable. And the process was not gonna start right away. So I had first a few days to realize that the news was real and then some time to prepare myself. From the moment I got the call to the recording day, it was less than a month. In order for me to feel ready, I started a war plan, an attack plan. Part of the attack plan was to get physically ready in a very basic way. So strength, more cardio. I already have a very good cardio, but I felt like I was gonna have to go the extra mile for it. So I started a new program, very intense. Also, I remembered from my conversations with Avery because she was always my biggest supporter. For some reason, I always doubted I could become a coach, but she was sure. That's how you recognize a great friend, I guess. She was always sure I would be a Just Dance coach one day, and she was like, when you're gonna be a coach, it's gonna be difficult in terms of memory because the choreography is gonna change a lot. So I try to find an app to exercise my memory for it to be more accurate and sharper and faster. And I have to say that really helped. I just tried to mentally prepare me and physically prepare me. And the rest was just trying to accept and realize that it was indeed happening. I didn't tell Avery at that time because I really wanted her to have the surprise. And God knows so many times I wanted to reach out to her because I knew she went through the same process that I was going through. But I was lucky enough that I had to tell some friends because vacations were planned. If I'm canceling my vacation, I'm gonna have to tell my friends I was supposed to go on vacation with. It was so heartwarming because I could genuinely tell they were really happy for me, and it felt even more real, the fact that I could tell them. A few days later, I had the roadmap, more or less, of what was gonna happen. And most importantly, I had the day of the recording. And it really got printed in my head as to, all right, you have that amount of days left, and one of the most important days of your life is gonna happen on that date.
My bestie is the best. She wrote me a letter and she did some bracelets for me. Look at this. I have one training season and the other one is Dina Lipa. I love her. Oh, it's getting real.
During that time of me waiting, I received an inspiration board for training season. It's been a week. The information started to process, and today I'm gonna see the mood board for my map. So this is gonna give me the first impression on what theme did you choose to go, what ambience, what mood, maybe what I can expect from my costume, and I'm like, a bit stressed. I hope I'm gonna like it, that's all. It's only a mood board, so let's see. Wow! I see Katniss Everdeen in there. A bit of a gladiator move. Gladiator is one of my favorite movies. The Hunger Games is one of my favorite movies. Oh, I love the pieces, the shapes. It looks amazing. Oh gosh, it looks badass.
Are you a fan of Hunger Games?
Yeah, I really like the Hunger Games. I also like another series which is called Divergent. I was instantly drawn to that thematic because I think some people see me as a warrior since I've went through a lot during my Just Dance competition, through my Just Dance career, even through my personal life. Hugo calls me a phoenix because I kind of came back at some point from ashes of myself in a way, and Just Dance helped me a lot with that. Oh, I'm gonna be looking like a superhero. Okay, let me look at the second one. I was not expecting this. I was not expecting anything, so. Wow! Oh, whoa! There's two costume ideas in there. I don't know if it means I'm gonna have a costume change or not. The makeup with the lines, I love it. Oh wow, red hair. I think I'm gonna have red hair because that's Dua, so that would be very logic. Okay, shoulder pads, love that. Leather, ooh, corset, ooh, metallic bracelet, ooh. Maybe a legging, maybe a skirt. I have to say I feel more comfortable usually in a legging, but I will take whatever. I will take whatever. I want all of this. After a few days, I received what was the final design, and before I opened the email, I'm not gonna lie, I was stressed because it was very clear that on this map, unlike what I did, for example, on Toxic with them, where I had a bit of a creative choice, here I was hired to be a dancer. So whether I like the coach or not, I was gonna have to be that. So let's discover that. Wow. Wow. She's a warrior. Wow. I love the upper part. It looks like it's with a lace and there's some leather, some shoulder stuff. She's in the legging and I don't know about the shoes. I don't see if there's high heels. I think there's a bit of high heels. A bit. It looks comfortable. It's gonna be okay. That's gonna be me. She looks so fierce. She looks badass, fierce, everything that I love in a Just Dance map. The thing on the face reminds me a bit of Survivor, but I think I will be painted in white and I think we're gonna be able to recognize me. The gold lipstick, oh, the pieces, the earrings. Oh, I'm seeing details now. Oh la la. Oh, I'm gonna look so good. Oh, she looks so good. She looks super good. I was gonna get to be some kind of hero, gladiator, warrior, and right away I was sold. And it's happening soon now, very, very soon. In fact, my first training is tomorrow. During days, during nights, I imagined how it was gonna be, and even though I had some expectations about how hard and intense it was gonna be, somehow reality surpassed them. I'm here. The process of making my costume started in the costume room for Just Dance. It's basically a room full of accessories of all kinds, of all maps of Just Dance. Everything you can imagine that could be helpful for a coach in a Just Dance map, it's there. I didn't know what to expect on the first day. I didn't know if it was already gonna be half-made or not at all, or fully made and they were just gonna adjust it. My inspiration board and my costume drawing design was on the wall and I was so eager to see how it would become a reality. So I met first thing with my costume maker. Céline is my idol. I love her and I loved every moment with her. This lady is a legend. She's been working on Just Dance since Just Dance 2. She has seen so many eras of the game and for sure she has seen the evolution of the costumes on Just Dance because she is their most experienced costume maker at JD. And she gives me a white bodysuit that's more looking like the coach of Avery's character of last year because it has the orange pants. And I'm like, it looks a lot like the one of Avery. And she's like, yeah, it's the one I used also for her. So I really felt like when she gave me that bodysuit that I was taking the legacy of being a Just Dance coach, especially coming from the community. This bodysuit was only for day one, for her to really adjust the measurements, to create my own bodysuit. So each coach has a specific bodysuit that's right up to their measure, and mine had to be a bit different than most of the traditional ones because if you look closely at my concept art, you can see that my bodysuit is integrating my toes. So I needed to have a bodysuit that was gonna fully cover not only my hands, but also my feet. I learned some of the costumes in Just Dance are pieces that are bought and assembled together, most of the time modified. On my costume though, everything was made from scratch, except for the shoes. On the first day, we tried several pair of shoes and I could tell in which one I felt more comfortable, but also the costume directors came to see which one would be the most appropriate for my coach, which one was gonna work best. The rest of my outfit is entirely created from scratch.
C'est le talon avec Flo, mais on garde ce truc qui est ouvert au milieu et qui garde une meilleure... C'est vrai que ça, pour danser, tous les danseuses, elles vont toujours utiliser.
I had already seen a lot of videos about how you create a Just Dance costume, but this was different because this time I was in the body of a coach and the costume had to be created on me, on my size. And It was completely new from that point of view. I was not watching it, I was living it. So the first thing the team told me is that it's gonna be long, and for real, I stood for 3 hours.
C'est pas exactement la même chose.
Bah oui,
C'est un concept de costume. Hein.
Non mais regarde, suis-moi.
On my costume, I think it took a team of maybe something like 6 people. I'm not 100% sure because mostly my costume was made without me even being there. But between the costume makers, Celine and her entire team, and more the production team that makes sure that all the details are going correctly, and the lights and the texture and everything. It's a lot of hands and it's a lot of hours of work, but it depends on each costume. And I'm only talking about the costume. I'm not talking about the hair, which is made by a different team. And that team for the hair was 2 people, and then I have 1 person working on the makeup. So overall, for my Just Dance look, I think it took mostly the effort of 10 people.
Alors déjà, moi je trouve que la ligne de taille avec la pointe, elle est bien. Ce que je me disais par rapport...
And then I had to wait a few more days until the next meeting to see how the costume was evolving and to try the wig. I'm living the dream. It's fun, and it was just the beginning. On the second day, the plan was to try the wig for the first time and to continue working on the costume. What makes the wigs on Just Dance special is that it adds the layer to the character of your coach. It adds a reality to it. Most of the wigs on Just Dance are representing hair that nobody would have in real life, but in Just Dance, you want hair that's out of the ordinary. My hairstylist decided to braid my hair. She said it was the best base for her to put the wig on, and the fact that it was braided, first, it locks my hair in place, nothing moves underneath. Plus, it was gonna allow her to bobby pin the wig into the braid of my hair. I already wore wigs in the past for some of my videos, so I wouldn't say that I was used to wearing wigs, but it already happened in the past. It's not easy first to put a wig correctly, and second, there's a weight to it. My hair is pretty light and my wig is not that light. It has way more hair than what I have in real life. The first feeling when I put it on, when she put it on, I was a bit taken aback. I was a bit shocked seeing me with red hair. I was not in love for a second. I had to get used to having that color and that amount of hair as well on my head, because that's so far from reality. It took some getting used to wearing that wig and having that hair. I was not comfortable right off the bat.
C'est pas les mêmes cheveux. It's not me.
J'avoue que ça change.
T'as vu, ça change. C'est pour ça que j'étais en train de dire, en fait, plus je m'habitue au fait de me voir avec les cheveux rouges.
Ouais.
Et un peu avec ce volume là et tout, et plus je me dis bah ça me va bien en fait. Voilà.
J'adore.
C'est trop beau hein.
After a few minutes of looking at me in the mirror, on this side and on this side and on this side, the more I was looking at me, the more I was like, yeah, I think it fits. And everybody was telling me, yeah, I think it fits you. I just needed to get used to it.
What do you think? Hello. That's me. That's me. Ouais, parce que maintenant je vais faire des mouvements genre...
So after Audrey put the wig on my head, Benjamin came and he detailed that wig. He looked at everything, the length of the ponytail, the braid on the sides, and asked her to do some modifications to it. Not final result yet, but by this time I was feeling confident that it was gonna suit me. So I kept it on and they brought the costume.
Ça avance, mais ça avance pas aussi vite que je le souhaite. Je peux pas inventer des jours.
Là ça a vachement avancé, elle a cousu ça. Il y a les détails sur les jambes.
My first impression was, oh, this is my bodysuit. The one that I had in the previous day was not mine. In fact, it was Avery's. This one was mine.
T'avais le maquillage rouge et tout, donc j'ai un peu changé les trucs.
Noir.
Oui, bon.
Ouais. The bodysuit on day 2 really felt like the beginning of my coach. They started building on it. I now had my bra and my legging placed on the exact point that they measured in the previous session. So it was really nice because she was coming to life. She now had a suit and that was my bodysuit, and I felt empowered because it was exactly at my measurement. It was fitting me like a glove. When they're building the costume on you, your job is not to tell them what to do, but more to tell them how you feel. So they asked me questions during the entire process of, does it feel comfortable? Do you think you're gonna be able to do all the movements with this, with that? For example, when they put on the red top, could I raise my arm, extend them like I want? Because sure, they want to have a beautiful coach and a beautiful costume, but if you cannot dance in it, that's useless.
Voilà. Donc pour l'instant, tout est en work in progress, comme on dit.
Alors déjà, t'as avancé.
Ah là là.
The costume process was advancing super fast. Céline is a superhero and she has a superhero team with her. I don't know how they manage, but my bodysuit was entirely created, my bra was entirely created, my top was entirely created. The skirt was still not created because it was a hard piece to do because it's made of leather material, but it was really going fast and going well. I was impressed.
Là, t'es rassurée. T'es
Oui, là,
rassurée du
tu vas
pied.
pouvoir travailler avec ça.
Oui. Mais là, toi, tu te sens bien.
Bah, faut que je mette mon poids dessus, mais attends, c'est mieux. C'est joli ça.
Ouais, c'est les doigts coupés.
Ouais. Céline told me that sometimes she has a month to create a costume. In my case, she had to go extra speed because the process had to be done faster because summer holidays were coming and my map was part of the last batch of maps to get released. So the work had to be done extra fast.
Ça reste décent.
Tout ça, ça sera cousu.
Ok.
On verra pas ce qui se passe dessous. Il vaut mieux pas qu'on voit ce qui se passe dessous parce que ça sera monté sur élastique.
They never forget that the priority is for the dancer to feel good. Céline, most of all, asked me so many times, how do you feel? Is that okay for you? Because I want you to feel good on the D-Day because she knows the D-Day is gonna be long. I'm not there to tell them, oh, I don't like this design or maybe we should adjust this and that. Honestly, at no point in time I even wanted to because they know so much what they're doing. Me, I'm just a baby next to them. I'm their mannequin and I'm glad to be their mannequin because they have all that knowledge and experience and they know what they're aiming and I just fully trusted them.
Bah, je vais pas lui mettre du scotch sur elle. Hein.
Je m'en fous, hein, si ça
Alors,
tient.
tenez-le. Voilà. On fait ça. Comme ça, je vais pointer les... Ensuite,
Ensuite, ça se croise vraiment au milieu par là, je dirais. C'est déjà un bon niveau.
Mais ça, c'est le.
Ça là.
Ça, c'est trop stylé.
Avec les ceintures là, ça va être incroyable. Le costume va être incroyable.
On that day, I also received a news that I was gonna be a coach ghost of my map and they needed my background coach to have a mask.
tout ça. Ah, c'est pas moche. Mais ça peut être encore mieux.
Ah, t'es
mais-
pas moche.
Non, mais là maintenant, j'ai besoin des yeux de Benjamin pour qu'il me dise à quel endroit Ça va être
The
fatigant.
inspiration for the mask, if I understood correctly, was for me not to look like my normal coach, but was for me to be hidden. I think with time, the intention was also behind that mask is all of my past experiences as a dancer, because my coach has that kind of story. She built her experience and now training season's over. I know so much work was involved in it, but for me, it went fast. And I think for them, probably to create all of my costume, it went fast as well. Probably they would have loved more time, but it was impressive to see the amount of evolution between every time that I had a meeting with them. There would be massive improvement between each meetings.
Bonjour.
On the third meeting, the costume was almost entirely there. The only piece that was missing was my gold glove that was supposed to go on my right hand. And the shoes were not final as well, because the design of the shoes with the laces coming up, it was really, really not easy. But I was impressed and in love with my skirt, with the accessory I have on my shoulder. Fun fact, at first the accessory on the shoulder was supposed to be on my right shoulder, but since at that moment we already had advanced in the choreography, we knew I had to put my right arm quite up in the air, and we realized with this accessory, it's not really gonna work. I think the team was happy with the development of the costume. Everybody had a feeling of confidence growing and growing, that the right decisions were made and that it was really gonna look good. And at this point, we didn't even have to talk with it's gonna look good. It was already looking good. It was the last time I saw the costume before the day of the filage. But the day of the filage would come soon enough.
So what did you think?
It's gonna look cool.
I'm gonna look good.
Yeah, the coach is gonna look hot.
Ooh.
While the costume was being made, we also had to focus on the choreography. I'm here. Today is the day. Emotional status, joy and anxiety inside out. On the first day going to the studio, I knew I was gonna learn the choreo. I was excited. The waiting was finally over. I was gonna have a first look at what was gonna be my choreography, at what was gonna be the mood of it, the intention of it. I was finally gonna know. I wanted to know. At first in the room, we have the choreography director, Estelle. We also have Benjamin. We also have Caitlin, my score level designer, because it's important, it goes with the choreography. There was also Julian, which is the assistant of Estelle in the room. And we have Loïc, which is part of the production. So there's quite a lot of people. The process started with Estelle making a presentation of what is the mood of the map, what is the story of the map, and what are the intentions gonna be behind my choreography.
Ton personnage, c'est une combattante fierce et powerful. Donc ta tenue s'est inspirée des gladiateurs, mais aussi d'Hunger Games. Les cheveux rouges pour faire le clin d'œil, voilà, à Dua Lipa du moment. Pour la Corée, donc voilà, on souhaite que ça soit puissant, badass, sassy. Que tu sois voilà, une guerrière pleine de confiance qui se prépare à sa compétition.
She presented the story that's about a coach that trained a lot, went through a lot of process, and is finally arriving at the end of the map in this huge arena for the final fight of her life, because training season is over and she's ready.
Comme je te disais, il y aura des prisades où il faudra répéter des mouvements, etc. pour pouvoir faire tous tes clones.
Ça sera moi aussi?
Oui.
Ça va être incroyable. Ok.
Et il y aura, c'est possible aussi, quelques gros plans, des choses projetées.
She showed work in progress designs of what could be the atmosphere, the background of the map.
Ça voyage un petit peu, mais c'est la plateforme, c'est pas toi qui bouge évidemment.
Oui, c'est la plateforme.
Et tu vas passer par des couloirs, arriver dans des salles où il y a tes clones autour, etc.
What specifically touched me is that she said that the team got inspired in my competition progress, career, and that they thought it was perfectly fitting me.
Donc voilà.
Ok, parfait.
Ouais, oui,
Ça
c'est
me va.
parfait. Ouais.
Parfait.
Bah, on s'est dit que le mood, voilà, ça te correspondait. Donc, oui, tout à fait.
Je te confirme.
Once the brief is made and we know where we're going, everybody leaves the room and it's just me and Jessie. That was impressive because it was like a lot of people and all of a sudden, boom, work had to begin. So my choreographer Jessie already had received in advance to that day the brief of the map by email. So he already knew coming in that day what is gonna be the intention of the map, and he had already thought about some moves. I don't know if some choreographer come into the first day with having the entire choreography already created. He had a lot of ideas about each part of the music, but I think he also wanted to see how the moves were gonna look on me. So he didn't have a final definitive version in his head of what was gonna be the choreography. During a good 2 hours, it was a process of creating and rehearsing and learning for me the choreography. We constructed the choreography with the music step after step. And basically it's taking the song from the beginning to the end and attribute a move to each beat. It was intense as hell because it was make, unmake, do, redo, change, maybe keep, maybe trash for the entire duration of the song. At the end of 2 hours and something, we had the full choreography. We were quite happy about it. So that's when the other team members come back to try, while watching us, the choreography. So we can get their feelings on the first try. It's just like when us Just Dancers are trying a choreography for the first time, you get a feeling. Contrary to us Just Dancers, they have the power to change it. At this point, they started to dissect every part of the choreography, move after move.
Il y a des choses parfois il faut qu'on arrive à cut. Et c'est que dans un verse, pareil, on a 3 fois la même boucle, plus encore 2 mouvements qui sont rajoutés avec un reculé. Enfin, ça fait pas mal d'infos quoi au final.
The point of my choreo was to be medium level. So they had to make sure that the feeling and the choreography was medium. So some moves we simplify them, some moves they're like, we don't think this is working, or maybe we saw that move in a map recently, or maybe this doesn't fit the 3 keywords that we were aiming at for the choreography, so let's change it. And when they say let's change it, on the spot, Jessie needs to have a new idea of, okay, we can replace it with this and that. It goes fast, and me as a dancer, I have to listen to all of that and then apply. After having dissected the entire choreography, it's time to record. I had to put all of the pieces together to record the video that would be sent to the entire teams of Just Dance for them to see what's the first version of the training season choreography. And it was right on spot. And I was like, mind, body, please don't fail me. Remember everything they said, all the changes, put this all together and give a performance. At the end of the meeting, I know that this choreography is gonna be sent to the entire team for everybody to give their feedback. And I'm being told there's probably gonna be some changes still. A lot of people have to review it and we need to make sure it really fits the map and is the perfect choreography.
Non plus de nettoyer vraiment dans le détail, parce que ça fait des infos qui seront en trop et dont on n'a pas besoin. Mais c'est cool, c'est vraiment très cool, franchement. Et le travail que tu fournis, tout ça, les lip-syncs et le fait que tu sois à fond dans le truc et tout, ça marche vraiment bien.
I asked Felix, like, do you think there's gonna be a lot of changes? And he's like, usually there's a few, but there's not so many, like we don't change the entire choreography from the beginning. And he was like, you can learn a bit and have it in mind. But the one that was really right, it was Jessie. It was like, don't rehearse too much that choreography because they're gonna change some stuff and I don't want you to have like a certain move fixed in your brain and your body so you have difficulties to change it after. And oh gosh, it was right because the choreography was about to change. So on the second rehearsal day, you start with Estelle and Julian reviewing and dissecting again each of the moves. This one, maybe we keep this one, we like it, but maybe we're gonna change it. And basically, they are giving indication to Jessie that this move, yes, this move we change, this move we modify. And there we are going for another 2 hours, 2.5 hours session, readjusting the choreography for it to try to make it again perfect. Most of the moves they wanted to change from their feedback on day 2 was because the choreography was too sporty. It was not sassy enough and we didn't want to have a choreography that was a sport choreography. You know, we spent hours, just the two of us in that room, trying to make the choreography better. Of course, the huge majority of the moves, I owe it to him because he's the mind behind it. But at some point, we searched together and he was really open-minded in listening to my ideas if I had any, or if I didn't like that, trying to modify it to my comfort. It was really a good exchange, very open, and I really thank him for that because at no point I felt just like a mannequin that just had to do what he wanted, and he always made me implicated in my choreography and in the creation of it. It was really an open process, even if he had the final word at the end.
Voilà. Ouais, peut-être qu'ils sont en haut. Je pense qu'ils sont trop en haut. Ouais.
For me, the hardest part was the fixing the choreography, the changes that kept on happening, because in each rehearsal, we would change the choreography at the beginning of the rehearsal, and then again at the end of the rehearsal. Then we record that, then the next time I'm coming, it changes again, and we adjust it again. I was honestly not prepared for that amount of change. I really didn't think it was gonna change that much. I learned that it really depends on each map. Sometimes the choreography is almost perfect right off the bat. Sometimes it's way more adjustment. And unfortunately, in my case, it was a lot of adjustments and changes. At the end of day 2, I thought we almost had the final choreography. And when I came back on day 3 and they still wanted to change that and this and that, I started to feel a bit desperate because I was like, when am I gonna be able to have the choreography that I need to rehearse to make it perfect? Because in my head, I was hoping I was gonna have a lot of time to make my interpretation of the steps as perfect as possible, to tailor every detail, but we kept changing this and that move until quite late in the rehearsal process. I had to adapt super fast. That's when you know, and I guess that's kind of obvious, that this process is not for everybody. My one fear was for me to not be at the bar of the level that they needed for the choreography to advance. So I really had to give myself on each of these sessions 1000%. I really didn't want to disappoint them. I really wanted to give them the best. It was hard. Honestly, I did a lot of competition, I did a lot of training, but out of all of that, I never had such intense hours where you have to construct, deconstruct, adapt, give your maximum level. It's heated in that room and the pressure is so huge because they are the best in my eyes. They are the gods of Just Dance. They are the one making the choreography, which is what matters the most. So I really wanted to do things right for them. Gosh, it was hard. It was so hard. At the end of day 3, I was just praying that the choreography we finalized at the end of that rehearsal is not gonna change anymore. I was starting to feel washed out because that was a lot of dancing and a lot of changes. I had a weekend coming and I knew I was gonna have time to really rehearse that choreography. So even if I was feeling washed out, I was telling myself, you have 2 days to work on it and rehearse. I was just praying that it would not change anymore, which they could not tell me for sure that it was not gonna change, because still that last video was to be sent to the team for approval and feedback. So I was feeling hopeful, but definitely I was starting to feel tired.
How many times would you say it changed?
It changed way too much for my sanity. Monday was gonna be the run through and recording was gonna be on Tuesday. So time was...
Good morning, beautiful people. Look at my sleepy eyes in the sun of Paris today. Aren't we happy? I'm excited because I'm going to do the run through. It's gonna be epic.
In French, we call it filage. It's standard procedure in the Just Dance world. It's basically a run through where I'm gonna get the makeup, the hair, the outfit, just like the real D-Day, and try to dance my choreography to see if everything stays in place and if everything is going fine. That there's no big issue that we couldn't have anticipated or couldn't see. So on the day of the run through, I arrived early with my coffee and we started with a test of the makeup with the Just Dance white. So Zoe, she decided to just use an easier technique to paint me in white. They did not use the airbrush on me. Usually they do it with a traditional coach, but because I had already been painted in white with the airbrush for Toxic, we knew that my skin was not reactive to it. Then I did hair. After this, I put on my costume and it was almost final. It was not final because they had to use safety pins to make sure that the costume was staying exactly in place. They didn't have the time yet to sew it on me, and that was only gonna happen anyway on the D-Day. Sometimes they do it before for Just Dance Coach, but for me, it was gonna happen on the D-Day. So they just put safety pins everywhere and I was looking like the real deal. I looked at myself in the mirror and that's it. I could really envision it. Like, my coach, she was real. She didn't have a name yet, but she was real. I was her. And that's when we go in the green screen studio. And that was impressive because first I could see myself in the reflection of the mirror dancing. So for the first time, I was really doing the dance in the costume. And also I had a whole bunch of people looking at me. Everybody in line in front of me, trying to detect if anything is going wrong with the hair, with the costume. Estelle was also there with Julian, making sure that I was doing the right choreography and I was not impeded by anything to do it correctly. And it was basically the first time I was doing my choreography in my costume in front of an audience. And I was feeling impressed. I was like, oh, whoa, that's the deal. It's happening. On that moment, it got real. And I had to tell myself, you hold your shit together. Like, it's time to be a big girl. It's time to deliver.
Bravo! Yeah!
Yeah, it hits me at that moment. I thank Estelle and Julian and all the choreography team for being cheering to me. Felix as well was also cheering. Like, there was a lot of people cheering, but there was also people just there to do their job and like not showing any emotion, like is it good or not, because they were just doing their job, which is not to cheer me on, so it's fine. That's when you realize, oh gosh, I need people to cheer me on and to tell me that is good. And Estelle was always that person for me. Every time I had doubts about myself, I could just go to her and be like, do you feel like it's gonna be okay? Is it gonna go fine? Are you confident? And she never showed a doubt. She was always super confident that I had it, I could do it, I was the coach that they wanted. And I really thank her for that because I needed that. I needed that extra push of confidence to believe that I could do it. But I knew that the choreo was still to be rehearsed and that I had to learn 2 extra choreographies, which sounds crazy. So after the run through, we reunited with the choreography team to create the clone choreography. Because the team had a wonderful idea, like to include that clones, that ghost, and I was like, well, this map is gonna be amazing. There's so many things going on. But that meant I had to learn 2 more choreographies that were almost the same, but not the same. So during the traditional 3 hours that ensued, I learned modified versions of my step for the choreography of my clones. We did version 1 and then we did version 2 because versions were gonna flow around. And then after we're satisfied with them, we have to record them. And then we still took a bit of time with Jessie and gosh, thank God we took that time because finally we said with the team, okay, this is the choreography, this is it. You can now work the details with him. And that's what I've always wanted since the beginning of this process, is to have some time with him for us to really tailor every detail, every hand movement, every finger, every head, every hip, every let's go more down on this one or let's push more on that one or less, like work on the intentions. And we finally had the time to do that. So I was thankful and I was feeling good, except there was one move where it was like, you're almost there, and sometimes during the rehearsal I was managing to do it, but not every single time. Like I was not feeling it. I could not get the real hold of it. And the more I was trying to do it with him, the more I was feeling like, this is tomorrow. I should not have that type of problem for tomorrow. And it was very reassuring to me, saying like, you're handling very well. It's a lot and it's normal. Don't worry, you're gonna manage. But the timing was coming to an end for that rehearsal. So I said, Jessie, can we record that move together? So maybe I can look at you tonight and continue working at home. And when I arrived home, I watched the video, and just like I'm learning my Just Dance choreographies by watching the videos, I realized what was missing. But I unlocked that move at 11 p.m. the day before my recording. I put myself under such an amount of pressure and of stress. I want to record this to manifest to myself. The recording is happening tomorrow. I feel under pressure. I feel kind of exhausted. But I want to remind myself why you got chosen to do that. They chose you to do that because you can. And you're going to do it. And you're going to kill it, because there's no way you're not killing this. So you're going to put your sweat, your tears, your entire heart and passion for the game. I've been a fan of the game for 15 years, and 10 years ago it sparked something, and that something is coming to its sense tomorrow. The night before the shooting day, I managed to sleep because I was already super tired because of the intensity that was piling in my body. Hi, today is the day, and believe that sentence because it's real. I am going to record my Just Dance map training season. It is the D-Day. I had an appointment with Felix to be there at 8. We regrouped earlier than the hour of what I was supposed to be in the studio just to take some time together. He took some time to bump me up, give me the best pep talk that he could give me in order to make sure that I was ready for the moment. The first step of the process was to get undressed, and I got given the famous bathrobe that every coach has. And then I went to the airbrush room where I met Zoe, my makeup artist. After putting cotton pads in my nostrils and my ears so nothing gets inside, we began the great choreography of airbrushing. So the choreography goes as follows. She counts 3, 2, 1. In the meantime, I'm taking a deep breath. Then she paints until I give her the signal that I cannot hold my breath anymore. And she stops and I can be like, breathing. And then I have to tell her, okay, we can go again. 3, 2, 1, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And that's how you get Just Dance painted. Then step 2 was to do the makeup. Zoe again, and she painted my eyes, my lips.
Avec là les cils blancs, ça fait un peu bizarre. Papillon.
The way she managed to do my eyeliner line so perfectly, I would like to have her every morning to make my makeup. Really props to her, because you know, I looked at myself and I was like, yeah, wow. Then step 3 was to get my wig on. The wig was already arranged by Audrey, but now was the time to really pin it on my hair so it would not move. So she did not use 1, 2, or 10, or even 20 bobby pins. I think they put 50, something like this. And they would try to make them go as deep as possible in my hair for it to be really catching, because we knew I was gonna have a lot of hair movement. So a few times I thought they were pinning my brain, but after that, the wig would not move. We were already several hours in and I had a quick break to eat. They really insisted on me having a 1-hour break to make sure that I could just relax a bit, because the rest of the day was gonna be super long. So I had breakfast with Felix, with Benjamin, and with Shauna. And it was just a moment out of time where we talked about something else in the middle of all that frenziness. After that, the most important thing was gonna happen, which is put on my costume. Putting on the costume was not just a matter of, okay, you put the bodysuit, it's over, because so many pieces of the costume had to be sewn with me inside the costume. Celine on that day had a team of 2 people to help her just for that, Laetitia and Joanna. And I think it took them, I'd say, an hour and a half for sure, up to 2 hours to get me dressed. And they sewn a lot of stuff directly on me. The red top, the shoelaces that goes up my legs. It really took them a lot of time, and Benjamin visited several times with Anastasia just to make sure that it was still just like the design picture, that everything was in its right spot, and we're talking millimeters here. Really, they have a sense of detail that you cannot imagine.
Donc ça, c'est le plus important. Ce qui est cool, pour l'instant on ne sait pas, donc là on va aller voir.
I also had some times while they were getting everything sewn on me to speak with Estelle to make a checkup of how I was feeling about the choreography. She explained to me where the cut was gonna be in the choreography, because they are magicians, but most of the choreographies these days, they do it with a cut in the middle, so the dancer can keep that high amount of energy, and even if there is a small mistake at one point, like, you can switch between takes. It's way easier for everybody this way.
On est sur ce qu'on s'est dit là.
Exactement.
Ok.
C'est trop bien.
Parfait.
Ça va être très très
On va faire ça. Je vais vous rendre fiers.
To have that moment to speak with Estelle was very important for me, because I was getting a bit in my head. And also, to be fairly honest, I needed some encouragements. I needed that boost from her. I never saw an ounce of doubt in her eyes, and that really felt so important to me.
Ouais,
évidemment, tu vas
ouais.
continuer un petit peu.
Ouais, je peux utiliser ces
At all time, they have my pictures and my coach design from when we did the village, just to make sure that we are doing exactly the same thing again as we planned. From the moment I arrived to the moment I was full on ready to go record, it took something between 6 hours to 7 hours. And my problem was that I was getting a massive headache because the wig was compressing my head on top and then the mask was compressing my head from the front, and I tried to stay hydrated as much as possible. Felix kept on giving me bottles of water for me to drink, so I tried to the best of my capacities like to be in the best shape, but gosh, my head was heavy. It was heavy, it was hard. So I needed the boost of the entire team. I never had that many people take care of me at the same time because there was Estelle talking to me, Benjamin and Anastasia looking at the costume. There were the two wigs artists, Audrey and Seb, and then Celine and her two helpers like still sewing things on me. So many people are paying so much attention on every single detail of how you look and also how you feel. The moment we finished, Celine insisted that I took the time to look at myself in the mirror and to let it sink. And I looked out of this world. In my opinion, I have never looked that good in my entire life, which is weird to say because I don't look like myself, but I was feeling like myself. That was my destiny to become that coach. That was my destiny to look like that. And the team like really gave me the best design they could have ever given me. Looking back at the pictures and the videos, maybe you cannot see me smile as much as what you could have expected. And I look at myself and I'm like, why don't you smile so much? You're having the best time. And I was having the best time of my life, but also I was under such an amount of pressure. I had a massive headache and I had so many things to record. The task was huge. I really didn't want to disappoint them. I think there's just one place in the entire studio downstairs where you can see actually what outside looks like through a window, and it's next to the makeup, but I didn't really had the chance to look at that top window, so I forgot what hour it was. I was focused on the mission. After the pictures were done, it was the big moment where I had to step on the green screen. At this moment, everybody knows they have a job to do and everybody's getting in place in their spot. There was this huge moment for me where I went at the edge of the green screen, and that's when Laetitia took off the protection of my shoes. And there you go, I walked to my destiny. I walked on that giant green screen in my coach outfit, and as I was stepping, I really felt TikTok destinies coming to life. I was scared that I would feel out of place the moment I would get there in the middle, and the contrary happened. I stepped onto the middle of the green screen. I looked at all the lights, all the cameras, all the people that were around me, and I felt at my spot. Once everybody's ready to record, we do what I call a crash test, which is like a rehearsal where they are recording, but it's not the real take. It's just for you to take your marks on the green screen, for them to take their marks with the camera, make sure that when I step on the side, when I step in front, I don't go outside of the camera, or if I do, they need to move the camera, adjust. It's just a way for everybody to know that when we're gonna do the real take, everything is gonna go okay. Most of the adjustments we realized that needed to be done was with my walking. I was taking too much of big steps, and even though it looks giant there, and it is, the camera cannot encapsulate that much from the green screen. And also we realized that one of my moves you can see it in the chorus when I do this, 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 and this, which is the move that I was having troubling with, right? The problem with this one is that my hair was flying way too much into my face. So we decided to adjust the movement for it to become a bit less intense so the hair would not get stuck. The other thing that we adjusted in the choreography is that I was supposed to really touch my leg when I'm doing the and if I did it like I had trained it from almost the knees up to my waist, I was grabbing the skirt while doing it, so it was not good. So we adjusted it.
Je le mettre là. C'est très bon. Là, comme ça.
Also, I had trained like to always move my head on the left when I was doing that, and they realized it was too robotic, it didn't look too good, so we took off that movement. Once we did all of these adjustments after the crash test, we were ready to do it. So the first real take after that, you do it at 1000% until the beep of the cut that was already planned. Before doing another take or whatnot, we need to check the take. And everybody needs to look at it to make sure that everybody's satisfied with it. Estelle and Julian, but also the level designer team, the costume team, like everybody needs to be happy about the final result. So after we did the first take, it was great, but it was not perfect. There was one movement where I could attack it more. And also I forgot to look at my clones, so we just decided to redo another take. The problem is that it's not that simple to do several takes, because between each take, my makeup artist has to come back, the hair artists have to come back. So it takes a lot of time for me to get ready again to record another take. So we took the time to speak with Jesse. He like really pumped me again, like to go for the second take to make sure I had all the details come in. And that's when we did the second take, where at some point my hair got stuck into my jewelry. I don't think you can see it on the full map, but my hair got caught and I was like, oh, what do I do? My hair got caught, what do I do? And nobody was saying anything, so I just somehow got rid of it, continued until the end, and history will tell that that was the take. Either I had the choice to look at the take with them, and that's what I first did for the first take, but after that, like, it takes time for me to re-put the blue thing on my shoes and to go get there. So there were some takes that we did after that where I stayed on the green screen because I had a monitor on the far left of my dancing space, and Jesse would just stay with me to watch the take from there, and they would watch from their position for the rest of the team. After we finish with that first part, we do the crash test for the second part, and that's where it gets tricky because they tell you where is that cut. I'm not gonna tell you. You're gonna have to figure out by yourself. And I need to, at this frame, to be in the exact same position. And the trickiness of it is that they chose a frame where my hair was flying. So I had to reciprocate that exact movement with my hair flying at the exact same spot. Talk about a challenge. Overall, we did 2 entire takes for the 2 parts. I wanted to do more, honestly, and I was told that something that the dancers of Just Dance always do is always tell, I can do better, let me do 1 more take, I'm sure I can do better. And that's exactly what I felt like, and that's exactly what I said. After they were like, well, this is the take, like, we love the energy, precision, like everything is super cool looking. We're happy with this one, we want to keep this one. I was the one being like, are you sure? Like, because I'm pretty sure I can do better, I can do bigger, I can do this or that. The team had to convince me, no, there's nothing you can do better. It's really good as it is. think that moment where we would be like, okay, we have the choreo, it's done, and I would have that sense of relief. But I had a lot of add-ons to record. You don't see me like fall apart because I could not just fall apart at this moment, and I just knew it. I could not just cry and be happy and be relieved, even though I really wanted to. I wanted to hug everybody and be like, oh my God, I did it, I did it. But on the set, my job was far from done. So after the main choreography was recorded, I obviously had to readjust my makeup. And that's where I want to give a special shout out to Laetitia. She was my guardian angel the entire day. Between each take, she would come to me with a bottle of water, with something to eat, a banana, just to make sure that I was feeling enough energized, that I was not dying here. And Laetitia, thank you so much, because she stayed there during the entire time, and that was long hours. And her job was mostly to make sure that my costume was good, but she also made sure that inside the person was feeling good. So thank you so much. You saved my life on that day. My headache was still massive, but I had somebody to take care of me, and of course the entire team kept on asking me how I felt, if it was okay. But I don't think I ever told any of them that I had a headache. I just didn't want it to be there to complain, because the gift was so massive. I just wanted to be professional to make them proud. After the main choreography was done, we record the zooms that you can see at some moment of the gameplay, where I just had to do attitude and give to the camera, give. And after that, we moved on to the clones, the ghost dancers, because there was still stuff to shoot after the clones choreography. I had to keep my jewelry under the main mask, so we added this one on top of it. So it took some time in order for them to be able to fix it to my head, for it not to move. And gosh, I looked scary. You are my slave. Bend in front of me. What was difficult for me when we did the recording of the mask is that I had 2 different choreographies, and also the clones were not supposed to lip sync, so I already had to cut that out. And also they are supposed to be clones in training, so I had to adapt the level of energy, and sometimes their choreo is smooth, sometimes it's more energetic, and it was just a lot of moves, and I had no chance to give a mistake because the clones choreography was supposed to be in 1 take. So that was another challenge. I think in a way the fact that I had the big mask on for the last recordings of the day helped me, because I had to focus less on giving into the face and gave the last bit of energy that I had in my body. When the final take was done of the clones, Estelle and Jessie came to me on the green screen and they were like, you did it, it's done. So we hugged each other, and at that time I could finally breathe. The job was done, and then we regrouped with everybody that was left on set, because everybody had a long day, and we took a picture all together. And that's when I decided I needed to tell them how grateful I was. I did a little speech. Of course, I bursted into tears, and it was hard for me to speak, but at the same time, I really felt super relieved, and I could see in their eyes how proud they were and how happy they were. And I received a lot of compliments, and they really didn't have to, but they were really extra nice. They told me that I should praise myself, I should be really proud, because what I did was not an easy job and I really did it well. I may not be the most perfect dancer, but I was definitely good enough for them on that day, and they really made me feel that. We had that moment together, And then everybody went their way because it was already super late, except Felix, because we had some content to shoot for their social media and for my social media. And then it was time to take off the costume. And I didn't want it to. It was not easy because it was all sewn together. It took 3 people to get it out and they really had to pull it like super hard for it to come off. And I could finally take off the wig. Gosh, I felt so relieved. My skull felt so relieved because that was heavy. But after that, everybody went home and it was finally time for me to take that long, hot, deserved shower. And I really took my time. Felix waited for me a long while that day because it was just, the pressure was also wearing off at that moment. And then I had to put on my normal clothes, gather my stuff, and it was done. It was midnight, but it was done. And now finally, after a few weeks of waiting, it is time to see the final gameplay. It's the day where I finally get to see my map training season in full. I'm getting to see the final result. I have seen absolutely nothing since the day of the recording, so that was more than 2 months ago. I'm stressed. I'm terrified, if I'm to be honest. I've been thinking about this day for the last 2 months. That's the last thing I'm thinking about before I go to bed at night, every night. And it keeps me awake. And I keep on replaying in my head the movie of the recording day. I have this sketch in my head of what it's gonna look like. But since I didn't have the chance to see anything since that day, I've been obsessing and I've been wondering, like, is it good enough? Was my performance good enough? Is the map gonna look good? I'm judging so many Just Dance map on a daily level, especially when previews are coming out, and I wanna love my map. I wanna be like, oh, this is God tier, I love this map. I just wanna love it. And I wanna have that reassurance that I did a good job and the end result is looking amazing. Do you have tissues? I'm gonna need tissues. We cannot start without tissues. Tissues.
Headphones.
Oh, I cannot believe this is the moment! Oh! Whoa! Wow! It has a bit of a futuristic aspect to it. In the way that the font is. I was not expecting that. I mean... Wow. I've never been more excited for a title screen. I'm more stressed watching the final result than I was on the day of the recording. Okay. Title screen, all right. It's moving around. Oh my God, it's me! It's me! Oh my God, the camera angle's moving la la. It's incredible. Woo! Yes! Yes! Wow! Is that me in the back? I mean, yeah. Look at me! Oh my god, this is real.
So are these tears of joy or tears of sadness?
It's tears of accomplishment. I look so good. I cannot, and there's many things going around. Like, it's not just the dancing in the middle, like it's the platform, it's more futuristic, the overall look, than what I thought it was gonna be, but it looks freaking amazing. And you have this big zoom, and then you have my clones at the beginning and in the end. I did it. I wanted to say something, but I wrote it down because I was not sure I was gonna say it correctly, so bear with me. To the Just Dance team, you have made hundreds of maps, and maybe you will forget this one, but you can be certain that I will never forget it. You have changed my life, and you just gifted me the inestimable boost of confidence that I never knew I needed. You gave me the experience of a lifetime, and I have infinite gratitude for each of you. You showed me that I mattered, that I am capable, that all the efforts and time I dedicated to dance, and specifically to Just Dance, well, they meant something. They meant something to you. I was already lucky to know that my work was of value to a lot of people around the world that support me. But you, the team, you gave me the extra validation, the one that I never knew I needed, but that I will cherish for my life. I promise to never doubt myself again. You gave me the proof that playing video game can lead you very, very far, and that it can teach you who you are, up to the point where you can be in the proper video game. If you say it like that, it's insane. It sounds surreal, but today it's real. So please never stop making Just Dance. The world needs you. The world needs this game. It's positivity, it's inclusiveness, the fun and the frivolity, even the troll maps. We need them. You are of public utility, and also I really don't know what I would do without you. So I love you, Just Dance, with all of my heart. I love you. And to whoever's watching right now, I hope that this video, outside of showing you how a Just Dance map is made, I hope this video and my experience can show you that you can dream higher, you can dream big, and you can achieve it if you do things with passion. And if you really love what you do, it can lead you to places you will never have imagined. I am also forever grateful to you, because without you watching, I would have never had training season. I would still be the shy girl that I was growing up, and probably I would have had a happy life, but way less crazy and colorful than what I have right now. So I am forever grateful for you watching this video. You made my life a happy rainbow full of adventures, and I cherish you. Thank you very, very much. I hope I can give you a scent of what you gave me. And if you want my advice, keep dancing. Keep playing Just Dance. And chase your dreams. Please, never forgive them. Never put them aside. Go chase them.